Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
You cannot write these news cycles, but so we're reporting it because it's out there. Because Milo, what's his douche, the right wing, yes, said that Laura Loomer told him it's like Trump said it was the best blow of his life. I'm like, oh God, I didn't think I could get any gayer, and And I'm like, hello, mainstream media. If he is, in fact, a Nazi in the middle, having an affair with a Nazi in the middle of that might be a newsworthy story, rather than did Kamala Harris work at McDonald's when she was in high school or something.
Yeah, I mean, just the mental image of that. I mean, but the thing is, like, that's the only thing he could probably even manage at this point. Like, how much what does she have to lift up to just, like, get to it? Like, what?
That's what he said. That's what Milo said, that he doesn't have, that kind of sex anymore. That's the only all he can manage is because that's what I was saying. Is it a sex swing? What is it, Jody? Or the helicopter from Dumbo Drop, the Operation Dumbo Drop? Like, I don't know what you would need exactly to accomplish that.
Like a sled, maybe? Like a toboggan? I don't know. Like they slide them back and forth.
I don't follow those movies. Does Jabba the Hutt have sex in that movie?
No.
Is there,
No.
No.
But plenty of people had sex because of that scene. Probably. Because of that.
Yeah,
the bikini.
The metal bikini.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the chain thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, were you saying something?
No, I'm sorry. I was looking at the picture of you hugging Joe Biden.
I know.
And you just tweeted, I wanted to tell him how grateful I was for him for all he'd done. And he wanted me to know that it was all going to be okay. With all the filth of the violence and hate in the news cycle right now, I needed this. I needed this. And your little cute blonde head. And so now you can confirm he smells like cocoa on a hot winter night, and you weren't drunk this time, right?
Oh, no. Trolls, it's 100% true. I mean, hot chocolate on one of those snowstorm nights when your kids said they've not wanted to play with you in forever, and all of a sudden they're like, Mom, can we play Uno? That's exactly what Joe Biden smells like, yeah. But for real, like, that was probably the most cathartic thing I've ever experienced in my life. Like, it really felt like bookends, because almost exactly 2 years to the day, shy of 1 day, was the first time I got to meet him. And everything was promising and hopeful and forward-looking and exciting and bright. And this was like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Like, let's be reflective. And it really felt like somebody said, you're going to be okay. He really did. He literally did say that, but I needed
he's
that.
A human being, so he's not perfect, but I swear to God, Joe, I feel like he's pure good and Trump is just pure evil. I don't know how else to put it. When you can't even condemn bomb threats as a presidential candidate without going, oh, well, I don't know anything about that. That's his standard answer. Don't know anything about that, but it's like, no, the answer is yes.
Right.
It does not depend on who's getting blown up. Yes, I condemn bomb threats, right?
Right, and the exact same people are telling us, right now, they're pointing the fingers at us for trying to downplay these things, and that's just not how it actually is. But Joe Biden would never make fun of or mock or make, light of somebody else being threatened or for them being afraid or being made to be afraid in their schools, being evacuated from their schools. Like, that's the difference.
Well, and of course, the president and vice president put out statements immediately. They're glad Donald Trump is safe, like any normal, decent humans do. That nobody wants, as President Biden says over and over again, violence has no place here. But as Joe Walsh said this morning, no one incites more hate and violence than Donald Trump. I mean, you must have. I always have to check if this is real. That a 78-year-old man actually tweeted, "I hate Taylor Swift," and you just said in the history of dumbest things anyone has ever done, this might be the dumbest. Is there no one that would just go, sir, no, don't. You're not in 8th grade.
Yeah. Well, right, but what's interesting about it, too, is what I kind of realized this morning, which I'm sure a lot of people were quicker to realizing, was that it wasn't just that it was like this petulant, toddlerish kind of mean bully thing. It was that what he was doing, too, because there's always this layer of that, was he was acknowledging in his own way, like without saying it overtly, because he knows the death threats that had been made against her, like, I'm going to put a bigger target on her back, like that in all caps. Like that, that is another layer of that like we're all just like not talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here we are today looking at the conversation from the lens of we have to be the adults in the room, and it's like, but see this tweet right here,
Right, the death
or
threats
post
and
or
bomb
tweet.
threats that Haitians are under because of him.
Exactly.
And he just, no, of course he never denounces the violence he incites. I mean,
Right.
yeah, the Chris Murphy said, you retweeted him, he said he doesn't denounce the bomb threats. This is a candidate explicitly running on the promise of political violence. And it just, I said it Friday. It's like, it's so irresistible to those of us that, dabble in the comedy,
Yes.
the dog and cat memes. But underneath it is always a despicable racist lie of some sort, right?
Right, and then what always accompanies that is a threat to someone else. That's the thing. It's that people are supposed to be afraid, that we're supposed to constantly be living in fear of something that is existential, but like also, just flatly dangerous. And there's children we're talking about here. And yeah, there's always this tinge of racism, xenophobia, sexism, bigotry. Everything he does is colored with that. And we have to keep calling it out, but people are just sort of like accustomed to it by now.
I know they say like, oh, all politicians lie or blah, I don't think we've ever seen this, that particularly this time, Joe, I feel like he is just running on a solid wall of lies. I'm trying to think of anything he said that's actually true. I missed this one. You retweeted, Trump said, she already's talking about bringing back the draft. She wants to bring back the draft and draft your child and put them in war. And George Conway just said he is deeply mentally ill. I mean, nothing. I mean, she's doing trans surgery on illegal immigrants in prison. It's just, I don't even know. I don't know how, if you're her, you even run against this exactly, right?
You do it the way she's doing it. Actually, do
Yeah.
it like that debate was a masterclass, right?
Right.
So you call it out because, first of all, most of us have been feeling like we're crazy because we've been gaslit into thinking this is somehow a normal election when it's not. And she put it all on display, but you dismantle it with the truth and facts. I mean, look, I was an educator. I can tell you, I never one time saw a kid come in and leave a different gender. Not
Right.
one time. Even those days that they were peeing in the cat litter boxes, I did not see them come out a different gender. It just didn't. We didn't have the time. I mean, we didn't have time with all the grooming and indoctrinating and hating America stuff. It was like, do you have time for this sex change? No. Okay. Well,
I know.
it's just gonna have to wait.
And this is what I mean. It's like a field day for a comedian. What was the tweet we read last week about, like, I'm in line for trans surgery, but the line is slow this morning because they're using staplers and erasers. Or it's just, but
Right.
Chris and I were just talking before the break about how long it's going to take the Republican Party to recover. Like, they're not going to recover overnight. They have become a party of crazy conspiracy theorists. And so, the day Trump loses, it's not like they're all going to go, oh, okay, well, because there's
wrong.
obviously
Yeah.
some segment, I don't know what the percentage is, Joe, that believes Kamala Harris is doing trans surgery on illegal immigrants in prisons. I mean,
1,000%. And like they very much leaned into that as a party so that they no longer really resemble the Republican Party of their origin. I mean, they really don't at all. They've leaned into the most extreme wing and factions of their existence. And like, I don't know what emerges from that, if it even is a Republican Party or not. But they are not going to just go quietly into the night. That's for sure. When he loses, we got to buckle up for that phase too, because it's going to be messy.
I mean, you retweeted the drip, 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 pigs fly, George Will endorses Harris. I mean, but again, he was very like, oh, but we got to, get the Senate and get rid of her in 28. Like, no, you're not going to have a normal Republican Party, in a year and 2 years even, I don't think. I don't know how long. Do you know how long it's going to take them to get a
This
sane...
is like it's a question I keep asking every current or former Republican that I know, right? All the Lincoln Project guys, all of the pundits and the politicos, and I ask them that question all the time, and they're like, I don't know if there is this party on the other side of it. I don't know what it is that replaces it, but anybody that was like willing to speak up against all of this, they've chased out, they've put into exile, or Liz Cheney, et cetera. Whatever it is, it's probably going to be the Kinzigers and the Cheneys and the George Conways and the Republicans that left the party that'll come back and call it something else. Maybe, I don't really know. I just don't see how something this extreme that's turned into what I consider a cult can just reform itself with the current existence. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, he's just made them into a party of complete liars and grifters, and I mean, all the way up to the Supreme Court, frankly, but because you retweeted, Kellyanne Conway said, women in this country are saying life is not fair to me. Kamala Harris is the one who made it that way. And you just said Kellyanne Conway is a liar.
Yeah.
It always has been, right?
I mean, yeah. the queen of alternative facts, right? Like she also said that we wake up in the morning and get abortions after we charge our electric cars. It's like,
Sure.
I mean, I haven't done that since at least like last October, but still, she just. They all lie, like you said. They all lie all the time. And J.D. Vance said it out loud. He said they make this stuff up because that's how they change the conversation.
Yeah.
Because they don't have anything to run on. They're not offering anything, not promising anything. They're telling us our country is a disaster. They're not offering anything. So what do? They just lie.
You asked the pertinent question. Speaking of J.D. Vance, has J.D. Vance ever denied the claim that he couches? No, he has not. So there.
Just out here asking questions, just asking questions.
We have a new nickname, Jethro Dull.
Yes.
Alternatively, Hillbilly Vanilli, Vladimir Futon.
I like Jethro
Use any
Tull.
of the above.
I like Jethro Tull too.
Okay.
Jethro Tull's my new favorite.
There's no denying it, the vibes are really good right now. But vibes alone won't save our democracy. We need votes. At the Grassroots Democrats HQ, we know what it takes to win elections. Knocking doors, making calls, sending texts, and writing postcards. If we're going to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and give them the Democratic Congress to pass their agenda, then we need to roll up our sleeves and talk to a record number of voters between now and November 5th. But let's be clear, we can't do it without you. So, are you ready to work? This is a fight for freedom and our future, and everything is at stake. Don't wake up on November 6th wishing you had done more. Join us. Go to grassrootsdems.org today to sign up to volunteer, and let's go win this thing.